Shalom, family. This is chapter 2 of my new book, Black Politics, which is available for sale on Amazon and is also for free for anyone who has Kindle Unlimited. Chapter 2. Black lives don't matter to nobody, and it barely matters to African descent people themselves, Adara said, pacing the floor in her basement. She wore a long black skirt with a white and black shirt, saying that injustice to people of African descent would not be tolerated. It had the new black politics in bold letters at the bottom. She was standing tall in her all black suede fox boots with her fro pinned up like she was going to war. Everyone was still shaken up about the video of the underage child last night. Adara called this emergency meeting at 6 o'clock this morning, and everybody came as usual with a few new members. Word has spread about Adora's and Abaddon's organization, and more people have started to reach out. I know that's right, Amina agreed as she passed through the crowd, handing everyone a flyer. The flyer that Amina is passing out is a training and recruitment event. Next Friday, we will be hosting this event here. The men will meet here in the basement with me and the women upstairs with Adara, Abaddon says, leaning against the desk with his arms around Adara. A brother in the crowd raised his hand. You could tell he was one of the new ones because nobody ever raised their hand. If they had something to say, they just spoke it. The brother leaned against the wall because the seats were limited, and the basement was crowded this morning. All the men stood and let the ladies sit down. He was standing in the corner towards the front of the crowd. The man had a beautiful caramel skin tone with a low fade. He's 5'10" with hazel brown eyes and a well-groomed beard. Some of the sisters' attention focused on him as his hand went in the air. He was beautiful, and I mean like the rainbow in the sky beautiful. Abaddon pointed towards him. What's your name, brother? The brother pulled away from the wall and stood upright. My name is Mike. This is my first time being here. Abaddon made his way over to Mike. Abaddon stretches his hand out towards Mike. Their hands locked and Abaddon pulled Mike close, hugging him. Welcome, my brother. I'm Abaddon. Nice to meet you, Mike said. So what can I do for you, Mike? Abaddon asked. I was wondering what I could do to help. I know a few people who would love to get involved and help, Mike said. Well, we can use as many people as we can get. You can help pass out some flyers with me and some of the brothers after this meeting. Then I can give you insight on what we do here, Abaddon said. Mike nods his head and fist pumps Abaddon. I can do that, Mike said. Abaddon made his way to the front of the crowd as everyone settled in. I'm sure everyone has had a chance to see the video Adara sent out, or else you wouldn't be here, Abaddon says. Everyone nodded their heads and focused their attention on Adara, who's hanging up pictures on the board as Abaddon spoke. Adara walked towards the board where Adara stood. These are pictures of the recent victims of police brutality and black-on-black crime. Abaddon pointed at the first picture on the board. Tyreek Johnson, Abaddon says with all authority in his voice. He was a 27-year-old African descent male, an only child with a 3-year-old son named Tyson. He was supposed to marry our beautiful sister Joy, but now Joy doesn't have her rib, and Tyson does not have his father. Tyreek was gunned down by law enforcement 3 months ago on his way home from work. He was pulled over because they said he fit the description of a suspect in a robbery 2 blocks over from where they stopped him at. Abaddon said as he walked closer to the crowd. Abaddon let out a deep breath, trying to calm himself down, but he couldn't cease the tears from pouring out. Abaddon choked on his words as he tried to clear his throat. Drying the tears from his face, Adara walked over to Abaddon to comfort him, placing her hand on his back. Abaddon smiles and nods at Adara. Something must be done. Abaddon glanced over the crowd. Everyone stood in agreement as Abaddon continued to speak. Adara points to another picture on the board. This is Tanisha Williams. She was killed by one of our own. She had been in an abusive relationship with her former boyfriend for several years. They have two children together, a little girl and a little boy. Our sister Tanisha finally decided to get out of that toxic relationship when Tyrone, her ex, decided to shoot her 3 times in her head in front of their kids. So not only do her children have to grow up without their mother and father, but the image of their mother being brutally murdered by their father will forever be with them, Adara said, walking through the crowd. So if you think our only problem is being shot down by those who are supposed to protect us or being systematically oppressed, then you're sadly mistaken. Look at each other, Adara said, standing in the middle of the crowd. Everyone turned to the person next to them, looking each other in the eyes. You see, Adara paused for a moment. The person you're looking at is your biggest problem and your biggest threat because without each other, you stand no chance. Then the room was quiet, and all you could hear was Adara's footsteps. Everyone was at a standstill. My brothers and sisters, if we're ever going to make any real progress, it starts with us. So we must all be on one accord and put our brain power and resources together. Fellas, if you want to join Abaddon today by passing out flyers, you're more than welcome. Ladies, if you want to join Amina and me with organizing and planning, you're more than welcome to stay. But before everybody leaves today, I have some good news to share. Adara looked around the room at the eager faces. We got the contract with Miss Carol. Adara screams, jumping up and down. Amina runs up and hugs her. Everyone who participated in the event was just as excited, and there was a few puzzled faces in the crowd. The newcomers had no idea what was going on. They were looking at each other, whispering, "What contract?" After everyone had calmed down, they're excited, everybody started to clear out the basement. The guys left with Abaddon, and some of the women stayed with Amina and Adara. Adara and Amina talked and cleaned the basement while the other ladies were upstairs cleaning and sanitizing the dishes and workstations for the next event. So you ready to tell me what the phone call was about the other day? Amina asked. Adara grabbed Amina's hand. Girl, come sit down for a moment, Adara said. What's going on? Amina said with a concerned look on her face. I don't even know where to start. Adara took a deep breath. The call I got last night was from Mary, Adara said. Mary? Like as in your mom, Mary? Amina said, scooting closer to Adara. Yes, Mary as in my mom. I honestly do not know what to think about the situation. I mean, I gave up on looking for her a couple of years ago. I closed that door and accepted the fact that I would never see or hear from her again. So to get this call from her out of nowhere has my emotions running high. Amina placed her hand on Adara. You know I'm here for you, Amina says. Yes, I know. I just don't know how to feel about it. I finally moved on and now all of the pain, the hurt and anger has resurfaced, Adara said, hanging her head low. And that's okay. You have every right to feel the way you feel. What you went through was a traumatic experience, and your mother showing back up triggered the agony within you that you thought was gone, Amina said, wiping the tears from Adara's face. You're right. I thought I closed that chapter, but it's still an open wound that needs to be healed. She wants to meet, and I'm still on the fence about meeting her, Adara said. Do what's best for you. Do not allow anyone or anything to control you, your thoughts, actions, or emotions, Amina advised, standing to her feet and placing a kiss on Adara's forehead. Come on, honey. We got work to do. Look at you. Win them big contracts now, Amina yelled, pulling Adara to her feet. They both giggled as they headed upstairs to join the other ladies. A few hours later, Abaddon and some of the guys are finishing up passing out flyers. So you want to grab something to eat so we can discuss what this organization is about? And you can tell me about the brothers and sisters who can help take this organization to the next level? Abaddon asked Mike as they headed back to Adara's. I'm down for that. I will never pass up a free meal and a chance to discuss topics I'm interested in. Count me in. Abaddon chuckled at Mike's response. So tell me a little bit about yourself, bro. Where are you from? what you're currently working on. What made you want to join this organization? Abaddon asked. Well, I was born and raised not too far from here in Hughes. Oh yeah, I know where that's at. I know a few people. There. Abaddon said. That's what's up. Most people don't even know where Hughes is at. But yeah, I grew up in Hughes. I was raised by both my pops and mom as an only child. I moved down here about 5 years ago for better employment opportunities. But I didn't want to go too far away from my parents. I just graduated from college with a bachelor degree in political science. I have not decided what I want to do with my degree yet, but I'm leaning towards a legislative aid. So that's what led me to this group. It's been hard trying to find internship opportunities here. And I figure if these big corporations don't want me to work for them, why not use my skills and knowledge somewhere is needed? So I saw a flyer posted up with the organization information in the library and looked you all up on social media. I noticed that Adara had made a post that all of you were having an emergency meeting this morning regarding the young brother who was shot. And I wanted to be a part of something like this, Mike said. Wow, man, that's amazing. And we're glad to have you here. Congratulations on making that move and getting that degree, my brother. The Most High knew what he was doing with you. We can use all the help we can get in different skills and knowledge to help bring this together. We cannot do it on our own, Abaddon said. They finished up talking as they walked up to Adara's house. So this is where we are eating dinner at, Mike asked. Yeah, bro, my lady be throwing down in the kitchen. You will see, Abaddon said. They both walked in the house, instantly overtaken by the pleasant aroma of beef, pot roast, cornbread, and sweet potato pie. Mike nodded his head at Abaddon with a Kool-Aid smile on his face. Yeah, bro, you might be right, Mike said. Hey, man, I told you she doesn't play in the kitchen. Let me go tell her we here. Abaddon walked into the kitchen, giving both Adara and Amina a hug. I see you in here throwing it down with the food, babe. And Amina, you in here throwing it down with the... Abaddon tried to find something to say, but Amina and Adara break the silence, both tickled by Abaddon's statement. Everyone knew Amina was great at many things, but cooking was not one. Forget you, boy. I could do a little something in the kitchen, Amina said, elbowing Abaddon. Oh, yeah? Like what? Abaddon challenged Amina. You know what? I'm not about to play with you today. I'm about to set the table, Amina said, grabbing some plates. Hey, can you grab an extra plate? Abaddon asked Adara. I invited Mike to dinner. I hope that's okay. Of course it is. I'll grab dessert. Will you grab the pot roast? Adara asked. They set the table and set the food and drinks out and all gathered at the table. So Mike and I were talking on the way here, and he was telling me a little bit about himself and what he can do for the organization. Our brother just graduated, earning his bachelor's degree in political science. Adara and Amina both clapped their hands, singing praises to Mike. That's what I'm talking about, and we need more educated brothers and sisters if we're ever going to make the type of changes we desire to, Adara said. Well, I appreciate the love, but like I was telling bro, the type of work y'all doing is what excites me, Mike expressed. At first, I was down about not being able to work at these big corporations because it's hard to find someone who would pick me to be their intern. I wanted to be able to get my family out of the hood and do something different. But after many rejections from every business I went to, I realized that no matter how great I am as a person or what I have to offer, I will always be viewed as a black man to them, no matter how educated I look and talk. So why would I want to take my talents and skills and build up their corporation when I could be helping my people build our businesses and communities? So that's why I'm here and I'm ready to work. I know that's right, Amina said, digging into her slice of sweet potato pie. It's much work to be done, and that's what we're trying to do with this organization. We want to build our communities, schools, jobs, banks, stores, etc. This organization is bigger than this corrupt system and police brutality. We have much work to do, and we need all hands on deck, tackling one problem at a time, Adara said. Well, as I said before, I'm all in, and I know some people who would love to be a part of this and who can take this organization to the next level. There's this sister named Akita. She's an activist from Houston, Texas, and she focuses on reforms and is currently working on creating programs for black and brown people when they get out of prison. Then there's this brother named Ahmad, a lawyer, who can help with the legal side of things. This Mexican sister named Rosa, who I went to school with, is good at organizing and hosting events. Then I know this white liberal group who would love to be a part of this and have many connections and sources that can be of use. Now, I don't know if you all allow any other races into this group or if it's strictly black, but we can use their help, Mike said. Black, brown, white, purple, or blue. I don't care what color they are, as long as we are fighting for the same things. They are right with me. I don't judge people by their outward appearance, but by their heart, Adara said. Right. As long as they come here with no ill intent and are truly for the cause, I see no problem with it. But hell, your people can turn on you just like anybody else. So as long as they are cool with what this organization is about, let's make it happen, Abaddon said, finishing his last piece of pie. Well, when y'all want to set up a meeting with them so you can make sure they are a great fit before inviting them into the organization, Mike asked. We can do it this Sunday if that's cool with everybody, Abaddon answered. Everyone nodded their heads in agreement. Cool. Then we can meet at the library. I'm going to call and book the conference room. That way we can make sure we vibe with them before inviting them to our meeting spot. I don't want to put Adara or this organization in danger or risk before figuring out who we're dealing with. I know you vouch for them, Mike, but we want to make sure ourselves before letting them in, brother. I'm sure you can understand that, Abaddon said. I understand and agree with how you are handling it. So I'm going to head out now and set this meeting up. Thank you for the meal. I will see you all Sunday. Abaddon walked Mike out. Abaddon walked Mike out. Oh, Lord, excuse me. Abaddon walked Mike out the door while Adara and Amina cleaned up the dining room. Buzz, buzz. Adara picks up her phone to read the text that just came in. Hey, Adara, I still haven't heard back from you. It's Mary, your mom, or whatever you want to call me. I need to talk to you. I'm at Midtown Hospital in room 225, and please come. Amina could tell by the mannequin pose Adara was in that something was wrong. What is it now? Don't tell me somebody else has been shot, or the little boy didn't make it, Amina said. No, it's not that. My mom just texted me. She's in the hospital and she wants to see me, Adara said, leaning up against the counter, staring out of the window. So, family, that's the end of chapter 2, and I will be back soon reading chapter 3. So I pray you all enjoy the story. And again, it's available for sale on Amazon, and it's also available for free for you to read. So with that, I say shalom.